It is 1917. The United States Radium Corporation opens its doors in Orange, New Jersey, and inside, something extraordinary is happening. Young women, some as young as 14, sit at long wooden benches beneath humming electric lights, painting the faces of watches and military dials. The paint they use is called undark. It glows. It glows in the dark with a soft, ghostly green light, and the women who paint with it glow too. Their hair glows, their skin glows, their dresses shimmer when they walk home at night. They are told, "This is perfectly safe." The foremen smile when they say it. The company doctors nod in agreement. Radium, they are assured, is not just harmless, it is healthy. In 1917, people believed them. The technique the women were taught had a name: lip pointing, because the brushes they used were so fine, so delicate, that after every few strokes they would lose their shape. So the women were trained, instructed by supervisors, to place the tip of the brush between their lips, press gently, and draw it out to a perfect point. Lip, dip, paint, lip, dip, paint. All day, every day, some women painted up to 250 dials per shift. That meant 250 times or more that radium entered their mouths, their gums, their throats, their stomachs. Some of them thought the glow was so pretty they painted their teeth before dances to make them shine in the dark. They painted their nails. They wore their glow like jewelry. Nobody warned them. Nobody told them to stop. Here is the thing that makes this story not just a tragedy, but a crime. The United States Radium Corporation knew. They knew from the very beginning. While they were telling their workers that radium was safe, their own chemists and physicists were wearing lead aprons and handling radium with tongs. The company's founders had read the scientific literature. They knew what radiation did to human tissue. They had seen what happened to early radium researchers in Europe, the burns, the cancers, the deaths. They knew. And so when company doctors began examining the workers, they were not looking for the truth. They were managing a secret. Medical reports were altered. Workers who complained of pain were told they had other ailments. Syphilis was a favorite diagnosis because it carried shame and silence with it. It starts with the teeth. In 1921, a young dial painter named Molly Maggier visits her dentist complaining of a sore tooth. The dentist pulls it. The wound does not heal. He pulls another. That wound does not heal either. Her entire jaw begins to ache with a deep, grinding pain that no medicine can touch. By the following year, her jawbone has begun to deteriorate. Dentists, confused and alarmed, attempt surgery. What they find inside her jaw is not bone. It is something crumbling, something rotten, something that should not exist in a living woman's face. Molly Maggier dies in September 1922 at the age of 24. The death certificate says syphilis. The company has made sure of that, but Molly is the first. She will not be the last. Molly Maggier's death is just the beginning. Through the early 1920s, more women begin to fall ill. Grace Fryer develops spine problems so severe she must wear a back brace. Edna Hussman's jaw collapses. Irene Rudolph deteriorates rapidly and dies. The women who are still working begin to notice. They compare notes, they compare symptoms. The company sends doctors who tell them nothing is wrong, that their ailments are unrelated, that they should go home and rest. But the women are not stupid. They can see what is happening. They can feel it in their bones, literally, because their bones are becoming fragile, cracking under normal pressure, fracturing when they climb stairs or turn in bed. Some wake in the night, screaming at a pain they cannot name because nobody has named it for them yet. By 1924, The United States Radium Corporation is running out of ways to hide what is happening. A Harvard professor named Cecil Drinker is hired to investigate conditions at the factory. His findings are damning. The women are being poisoned by radium. But when the company publishes his report, they alter it. They remove his conclusions. They replace them with fabrications that declare the workers to be in good health. Cecil Drinker is furious. He is ignored. The company hires its own doctors to produce alternative findings. They bribe, they pressure, they manipulate, and in the meantime, more women are dying. Some cannot open their mouths, some cannot walk. Some lie in hospital beds with jaws so destroyed that surgeons simply remove what remains and wire their faces shut. All of this is kept quiet. All of this is buried. In 1927, 5 women decide they have nothing left to lose. Grace Fryer, Edna Hussman, Catherine Schaub, Albina Larice, Quinta MacDonald. They call themselves nothing dramatic. They are just women who are dying and who want the world to know why. They hire a lawyer named Raymond Berry, who takes the case on contingency because no one else will touch it. The lawsuit they file against the United States Radium Corporation sends shockwaves through American industry. Companies across the country are watching, because if these 5 women win, everything changes. The case goes public. Newspapers call them the Radium Girls. Reporters crowd the courthouse steps. For the first time, the women's photographs appear in the papers, thin, some in wheelchairs, some unable to lift their arms to take the oath, and still they fight. The corporation does everything in its power to delay. They file motion after motion. They argue the statute of limitations has passed. They drag the case through 1927 and into 1928, while the women deteriorate. Grace Fryer can barely sit upright. Some cannot attend hearings at all. The judge, a man named William Clark, sees what is happening, and he is not unmoved. When the corporation continues its delays, he calls both sides into his chambers and tells them plainly, "Settle this. The women are dying. There is no more time." On 4th June 1928, after months of legal warfare, the United States Radium Corporation agrees to a settlement. Each woman receives $10,000, worth roughly $180,000 today. They receive a pension of $600 a year. They receive medical care for life. It is not enough. It is never enough. The Radium Girls did not just win a settlement. They changed the world. Their case established for the first time in American law that an employer could be held liable for knowingly exposing workers to dangerous conditions. It opened the door for occupational health legislation that did not exist before. When the Manhattan Project began building the atomic bomb in the 1940s, the scientists turned to the data gathered from the Radium Girls. Their bodies had been studied, their exposure measured, and that data directly shaped the radiation safety standards that protected the physicists and engineers working with nuclear material. The women who were told radium was safe became the foundation of modern radiation science. They were used in death the way they had been used in life. But their fight, those 5 women, barely able to stand, had made sure it would never happen again. At least, not without consequence. Grace Fryer died in 1933, Catherine Schaub in 1933, Quinta MacDonald in 1923, Albina Larice lived until 1946, Edna Hussman until 1939. Their bodies, buried in New Jersey, remain radioactive to this day. The radium in their bones has a half-life of 1,600 years. If you were to open those graves, and researchers have, you would find that the bones still glow faintly in the dark. The women who painted dials so that soldiers could read their watches at night, who were told their glow was harmless, who were silenced and lied to and left to die, they are still glowing. They will still be glowing in the year 3600. Their bodies outlasted the company that poisoned them, the lawyers who fought them, and the doctors who lied. In the end, the only thing that stayed was the light. It always was.